with you. There is no one else on me. I get heaven to myself. I've been listening to the song non-stop since it came out. If you were wondering if I reacted to Coldplay and JIN in Argentina, I'm gonna turn this off. If you were wondering if I listened or watched to that, I did. I listened to it and I watched it and I sobbed my eyeballs out on Twitch actually. I did that a few days ago or a couple days ago, and it's still on my Twitch, but I think I'm going to put that on YouTube as well. So if you don't like Twitch for some reason, I'm gonna probably put that on YouTube. But I did. I watched it and it was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. I think it was the most wholesome, beautiful, much needed, like the whole world needs to see that performance because it is just like it is the happiest goodbye, but he's not even going to be gone for that long, you know. And I really appreciate all the comments that you guys left under my astronaut music video reaction. I think I said everything I wanted to say in the comments and in that video, but yeah, it hit me a lot later, like the real feelings, it hit me a lot later. But today I'm going to do a few things. Jin was on GQ. I think it was Things He Can't Live Without on GQ, so I want to watch that. And then I also want to watch RM and Pharrell. They were on the cover of Rolling Stone together, and if you know anything about me, I grew up listening to Pharrell just like Namjoon. Pharrell is actually from the area that I grew up in, so he is very near and dear to my heart. I didn't technically know him, but I knew him through association, and I met him one time. Like a few years ago, I met him in the DC area and we took a picture together. I put it on my Twitter, so it's on there if you're wondering. I actually met Pharrell, and I'm just like, you know, that's why I'm like, oh wow, Junie and I, we have a mutual friend. Yeah. So I want to watch that, the interview, and I read the article on Rolling Stone already, and I was crying yesterday reading the article. It was just so honest and real and vulnerable, and just everything you want two musicians to kind of portray to each other, and the way that Namjoon, I guess, asked his questions. He even took Pharrell back, you know. And so I heard that the interview itself was a little bit different than the article. So yeah, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna do those things today. But first, let's go. We're gonna get to Jin on GQ. So let me actually put on my earbuds so I can hear him clearly. I think this song, oh, and I also saw that I think everyone was doing this as well. I was listening to Super Tuna nonstop because it's on Spotify, and I was listening to it in the car, and I was just like, he must be like, this, my Hybe really decided that we're gonna put this on Spotify. So anyway, yeah, Jin on GQ. He's like prepping to go now. Okay. I just realized you guys can't hear this. I'm so sorry.
저에게 가장 멋있는 사람들은 아무래도 저희 멤버들이 아닐까요? 저희
he looks so
멤버들만큼 또
cute.
멋있는
Okay, you guys agree with me? He looks so good in pink. He looks so good in pink.
아무래도 저희 멤버들이 아닐까요? 저희 또 멤버들만큼 또 멋있는 사람은 없다고 저는 생각합니다. 가족도 멋있지만 멤버들이 조금 더 멋있습니다. 가족 소리. 안녕하세요,
가족
BTS입니다.
소리.
저희 10가지 아이템 10 이센셜을
Minions? Oh, I forgot. I did see this before. He has a minion tennis like racket and stuff. Oh my god.
굉장히 큐트한 또 테니스 가방이죠. 제가 이거를 고른 이유는 이제 딱히 크지 않고요. 이게 또 한정판이라고
so
수량이
cute.
얼마 나오지 않은 굉장히 귀중한 친구라고 들었어요. 슈퍼스타라면
so
한정판
weird.
또 못 참지 않습니까? 이렇게 치면 이제 포핸드, 그리고 이렇게 치면 백핸드. 제이홉하고 밥을 먹고 저녁을 먹고 그다음에 테니스 약속이 있었는데 이제 호비한테
He was gonna play tennis with Hobie?
야, 너 그럼 테니스 칠 줄 아니까 같이 테니스 지금 우리 친구들하고 시합하러 갈 건데 같이 갈래? 이래서 꼬셔서 같이 가서 제이홉 테니스를 또 이겼던 기억이 있습니다.
Of course you won, Jin. You're just like you've been
필살기는
playing for a
아무래도
while.
저의 필살기라기보다는 제이홉의 경력 단절이 또 문제가 아니었을까. 초등학교 때 시작을 했는데 게임을 열정적으로 시작한 거는 이제 또 중학교 때부터입니다. 게임에 제일 재능이 있는 사람은 이제 B.
Yes, Taehyung is really good at games. When I watch, run BTS episodes, and Tae and I think JUNGKOok is really good too. JIMIN's not bad.
친구는 항상 게임을 몇 판 안 해도 게임에 대한 이해도도 굉장히 빠르고 1년 전쯤, 1년 반 전쯤에 멤버들 한 3, 4명이서 모여서 같이 게임을 한 적은 있어요. 캐주얼 할 때도 다 게임하고 어디 나가서도 게임하고 집에 들어와서도 게임하고 그랬던 적이
게임하고
저는
게임하고
그냥 즐기는
게임하고.
사람일 뿐 잘 하지는 못하고 가장 못하는 사람이요?
남준.
제이홉.
You can tell how close he is with Hobie. And I mean, they're all close, but like he's really close with Hobie, and Hobie looks really hot here.
그 친구는 이 게임에 대한 흥미도 없고 게임 자체를 이제 B와 완전히 반대로 게임 자체를 이해하지를 못해요. 그 친구한테 게임 시켜보려고 제가 여러 개 들고 찾아와가지고 이렇게 플레이하는 거야 라고 알려주고 나와
He goes up to Hobie, he's like, 이렇게 플레이하는 거야. And then Hobie's like,
근데 다음에 다시 가보니까 정말 제가 딱 플레이한 거기까지만 돼 있더라고요. 그래서 포기했습니다.
포기했습니다. Oh, that is a
항상
cute
갖고
wallet.
다니는 루이비통 가방이 있는데 이제 그 가방 안에 이 지갑이 항상 들어 있어요. 저의 이제 옷 같은 존재죠. 나갈 때 항상 같이 옆에 붙어 있는. 쓰지 않아도 일단 갖고 다니는. 운신까지는 아니고 이제 가끔씩 집에 있을 때 옷을 벗고 있기도 하지 않습니까?
Like what?
까지는 아니고 이제 가끔씩 집에 있을 때 옷을 벗고 있기도 하지 않습니까? 이 친구도 가끔씩은 분신이라기보다는 가끔씩은 제가 이 야외 활동을 할 때 제외되기도 하죠.
잠깐만, 잠깐만.
분신까지는 아니고 이제 가끔씩 집에 있을 때 옷을 벗고 있기도 하지 않습니까? 이 친구도 가끔씩은 분신이라기보다는 가끔씩은 제가 이 야외 활동을 할 때 제외되기도 하죠.
Good day, PJs.
다니는 아이템들이 고정이에요. 컴퓨터.
Oh, I need to get my hands on the good day PJs. I have the bad day ones, and you guys may have seen it. I prefer the bad day ones. I love black and I love the white detail on it. But this blue is so cute. And blue's like, it's my color, it's my color.
키보드, 마우스, 그리고 잠옷.
Oh.
예를 들어 이 파자마 옷을 만들려고 계획을 했을 때 내가 파란 색깔을 봤다, 아니면 뭐 천사 관련된 것을 봤다, 막 뭔가를 생각하고 이거를 요렇게 해야겠다 요렇게 해야겠다 라기보다는 꿈을 꿨는데 천사를 봤다 그러면 이제 천사를 집어넣고 뭐 출근하는데
I love that he did that. He was like, I already had like this thought, it popped in my head and I'm gonna go with it.
강물이 파랬다 이러면 이제 파란색 집어넣고 하는 스타일입니다. 제가 또 그림 손재주가 굉장히 없어가지고 제가 직접 그린 건 아니고 타이니탄이라고 있는데 이제 그 친구한테 천사라는 이미지를 씌워보면 어떨까, 없던 이미지였거든요. 그래서 옷에 그냥 크게 하나 집어넣을까 아니면 작게 뭐 몇 개를 집어넣을까, 그리고 그 사이에 이제 뭘 들고 있을까, 구름을 타고 있을까 아니면 중간에 하프나 뭐 이런 하트 뭐
I love the way that he's explaining things. It's so cute.
이런 것을 집어넣을까 저는 의견을 많이 제시했을 뿐 이제 도와주신 분들의 공이 크죠 사실. 이 핸드폰이 이제 Z 플립 브라운 에디션이고요. 이제 이 친구는 저에게 공기, 산소 같은 존재죠. 언제나 옆에 붙어 있는. 이게 스티커가 아니고요. 그 이제 방탄소년단 그걸로 이제 만들어진 케이스 가린 거는 저희 집 카드키이기 때문에.
You know, not gonna lie, I recently got a new phone. I got the Samsung S22 Ultra. But whenever I do see the BTS members playing with that Z Flip, not gonna lie, I kind of want it.
네, 요거는 안 나갔으면 해서. 가장 좋아하는 앱은 역시 현대인답게 유튜브를 많이 쓰고요. 한국 시장에 또 웹툰이라는 게 굉장히 많이 발달을 했어요. 이 순위로는 인터넷, 또 제가 게임을 많이 하다 보니까 서치할 게 굉장히 많거든요. 정보를 많이 알아야 돼서. 저희가 1년 365일 중에 한 360일 정도를 같이 보거든요. 일들이 많아가지고. 그래가지고 저희끼리 연락을 따로 하진 않습니다.
He's like, no, too much. Oh, that is so cute. There's a little here's a Maple Story boba thing. You know, I still have not seen him in the Maple Story episode. I have not.
얘는 이제 뭐 별건 아니고. 뭐야,
귀여워.
그렇지, 앞에 봐. 제가 좋아하는 캐릭터 중에 하나인 핑크빈이라는 캐릭터인데요.
Oh my god, I need to get a pink bean. Oh
이
my
친구를
god.
이제 가방에 달고 다녀요.
That
하지만
bag is
제가
so
외출을 할
cute.
때는 이 가방을 꼭 가지고
That
다닌단
bag is
말이죠.
so cute.
그렇죠? 그래서 이 친구도 그냥 같이 달려 있습니다. 정 많이 들었죠. 이 친구를 제외한 한 2가지의 품목들이 더 있어요. 여기에 이제 주황 색깔로 해서 주황버섯, 그다음에 이제 흰색과
주황버섯?
파란색이 섞여 있는 예티라는 캐릭터의 이 키링도 있는데 아무래도 이 친구가 가장 저랑 오래 다녔다 보니까 좀 때가 탈 때까지 같이 다니지 않을까. 제가 귀찮을 때 이렇게 멜 수 있는 적당한 길이의 어깨끈 이 굉장히 중요하거든요. 백팩으로 매자면 이제 너무 거추장스럽고 저는 디자인보다 실용성을 중요시하거든요. 이 가방 안에는 아까 소개했던 지갑이 있고요. 립밤 들고 다니고요. 그리고 제가 게임을 많이 하다 보니까 인공 눈물 들고 다니고요.
Wait, 잠깐만, what?
들고 다니고요. 그리고 제가 게임을 많이 하다 보니까 인공 눈물 들고 다니고요. 이게 뭐지?
Oh, because the screen time. I was like, what? It's like eye drops.
예, 약이 하나가 들어있어요. 아마 알러지 약인 것 같습니다.
He took this allergy yak in on YOONGI show.
이 브랜드의 가장 마음에 드는 점은 굉장히 심플한 뭔가를 갖고 있어요. 저의 패션 철학은 옷에 돈을 썼으면 브랜드 로고가 큼지막히 박혀 있는 게 이제 또 좋습니다. 왜냐면 돈 쓴 티가 나잖아요.
아 진짜 are you serious?
이 패션에 대한 영감을 주는 게 있다면 그것은 바로 귀찮음. 저는 패션에 그렇게 사실 크게 신경을 쓰지 않아요. 가장 중요한 패션.
You know why? Because he looks good in anything. He's like, I don't care. Stop eating my hair.
패션인 얼굴이 이미 완성돼 있기 때문에 옷은 좀 부가적이다. 눈앞에 솔직히 말해서 보이는 거 있습니다. 그래서 이 친구가 제일 많이 보여서 여기 보시면은 지금 옷에 구멍이 났어요.
Dude, he's such a typical guy here. Like whatever, like you know how typically girls, not all girls and not all guys, but typically, I mean this when I go into my closet, I will sit there and then kind of like shuffle through all of my clothes like, oh, what am I going to wear? But he is such a typical guy where he's like he goes in the closet, sees those pair of pants, he's like, all right, and let's go. And that's like that's ideal. That's ideal.
여기 너무 자주 입어가지고 오늘 수선 맡기려고 가져왔습니다. 제가 데뷔 초반에 또 얼굴이 굉장히 많이 잘 붙는 사람이었었는데 인터넷 검색을 많이 했죠. 그랬더니 뭐 영양 부족일 수도 있고 그다음에 간이 많이 약해져 있을 수도 있다. 그래서 간에 좋은 게 뭐가 있을까 찾아봤는데 이제 대표적으로 이 친구가 있더라고요. 그래서 이 친구를 한두 달 정도 복용하기 시작했는데 그때부터 몇 년간 얼굴이 또 잘 붙지 않더라고요. 야식을 먹고 자든 뭐 일이 힘들든 뭐 크게 잘 붙지 않아가지고
I
이
need
친구는
that.
이제 내가 연예인 생활을 하면서 정말 빼놓을 수 없는 친구구나. 아니요, 저는 사실 이제 건강에 관해서는 신경을 크게 안 쓰는데 얼굴에 관해서는 신경을 많이 씁니다.
Worldwide handsome. Oh my god, those are beautiful slippers. Those are Louis slippers. Oh, that was so pretty.
와, 이거 보여주기도 굉장히 민망할 정도로 색이 바랬는데 몇 년 전인지는 모르겠으나 한 2, 3년? 그때부터 1년 동안 한 365일 중에 한 300일 정도를 신고 다니지 않았나. 저희 투어 생활과 이 많은 생활을 같이 한 친구라 낚시 갈 때도 이 친구를 신고 멤버들하고 놀러 갈 때도 지갑보다 더 자주 붙어있던 친구입니다. 근데 이게 슬리퍼를 신어본 사람들은 아는데 슬리퍼가 신다 보면 본인한테 길들여져요. 그래서 아마 새로운 슬리퍼를 사면 이런 제가 이 편안함을 이제 못 느끼지 않을까. 할 수 있다면 뭐 손자 손녀까지 물려줘야죠 뭐. 네, 지금까지 텐 에센셜을 통해 저의 물건들을 소개해드렸는데요. 초대해주신 GQ에 감사드리고 저의 새로운 싱글 The Astronaut도 많이 사랑해주시길 부탁드립니다. Thank you.
많이 사랑하고 있어요. Oh, I don't know why this popped up, but oh my gosh, that was so cute. That was so cute. He is he doesn't, you can tell he doesn't like overcomplicating things, you know. He is very like, you know, if we're going to go the MBTI route, he's a T, right? He's like, and on that he's more of a T, and I really appreciate that about him because, you know, to be very honest, I'm not like that. But I just love the way that he's like really like 솔직하게 말해, you know? Like he's just like, this is what it is, this is how I'm gonna approach it, and this is what it's gonna be. I feel like we're gonna get into Namjoon now, but Namjoon, he thinks a lot. Like he thinks a lot. And not that Jin doesn't think a lot, but the way that they come to a decision seems a little bit different, but they mesh really well. And, you know, Namjin, like, hello, they get along really well. They're really, really good friends. Jin, I could be a really, really good friend as well. Just saying. Okay, I think this is them filming Pharrell and RM of BTS. This is them filming the Rolling Stone cover, and I saw these pictures already, but I'm gonna ease into the interview by watching this first. So let's go. Oh.
Of course,
oh my God.
The name Pharrell explains everything. You're a producer, yeah, you may be a rapper, you may be a CEO. How do you define? How do you put?
Oh my God, wait a minute. Okay. Oh my gosh. I really love that the way that Rolling Stone they approach this interview. It's like Pharrell is still like a very relevant superstar. His music and his artistry, you know, but Namjoon is also, you know, he's younger than Pharrell, but they both recognize the superstar power behind both of them, and them having a conversation, and then also Pharrell being Namjoon's idol for such a long time. It's just beautiful.
Position yourself. I'm in that process. It's really tricky and confusing, and I just don't know
Why do I want to cry? Oh my God, he's so beautiful.
what's going to happen.
I would just say continue to move forward, continue to be curious, and don't put any kind of necessary pressure on what it is that you do. Just keep going.
Cruising.
Just keep
and just
cruising.
What it is that you do, just keep going.
Cruising.
Yeah, and just see where you end up. 'Cause it's really interesting.
I love that part of the article. I really love that part because, you know, honestly, the older I get and the more I start to kind of not necessarily put puzzle pieces together, because I don't think that's how life works. You're not going to always get this picture perfect picture. I realized, you know, you just gotta go with it as it is. And just like they said, I think they said no nevers, you know, like, because you don't know what you're going to see later down the road, and you don't know how your mind is going to shift and change. But if you are able to recognize where you came from and kind of go with it, I think that's what makes life meaningful, because nothing is as you're going to plan. I think you should have a vision, but you shouldn't have like a strict outline of what you want to do or see, or because things change. Oh god. Okay, let's get into the interview. I've seen tiny snippets here and there, but I haven't seen the entire interview, so I'm really, really excited. And it's I don't even know the word to say. It's a beautiful moment. Musicians on musicians. And oh my gosh. And also, Namjoon is coming out with his solo. He said he's 90% done. BTS is on Pharrell's album. Does that mean Namjoon is on it, or is BTS on it? I don't even know. But
I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but we've met at
Of course.
look at Namjoon, the fanboy, and then Pharrell's like, of course I remember we met. And I'm just like, that's like something like such a fan would say. Like, do you remember when I saw you? It was so cute.
If you remember it or not, but we've met at
Of course. I
Billboard
remember.
Music Awards
Yes, of
in
course.
2018.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
We took a photo.
We took a photo
I
together.
wanted to work then.
Pharrell's like, of course. Look at these men.
First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for having
Thank
me
you for
as well.
having me as well.
Oh my. Okay, wait. I one more thing I have to say. Okay, they are also fashionistas. Okay, they are so like Namjoon has his style. Like look, and obviously they have stylists and things, but the way so just beauty.
I think that there's a huge benefit in writing and producing for other people. I'm pretty sure you may feel that way as well, but it allows me to go to places that I wouldn't go for myself. And as much as it feels like, I may know what I'm doing when I'm doing songs that I'm, featured as a solo artist, some people know, but most people don't know that all of my solo efforts have always been songs that I have written and produced for other people. In fact, when I try to write songs for myself or produce songs for myself, they always are too complex and seem much more like a puzzle than they do,
a puzzle. I just said that. I just said you should oh my god, but isn't that what we are always trying to do? Especially when it comes to your own life. You're like, I know what the picture is. Like in that puzzle box, I see what that picture is and I want to build it as it is. But life is not like that puzzle box. Life is like a box of chocolates. Hello.
Much more like a puzzle than they do, a jam, like a bottle. But I do those for other people. So for me, oftentimes my best stuff is the stuff that I poach back for myself. I don't know how it is for you.
Wow.
In 2005, I was just an elementary school kid, and I just wanted to be a rapper. As I got to know what's rap, it's basically it's rhythm and poetry. I really felt attracted for this whole genre to send the messages to the world. Actually, it's really embarrassing to answer about all this in front of my idol, but for me it's
okay. One thing I really, really, really appreciate about Namjoon is that he clearly he's the bilingual one of the group, and not only is language like a way to communicate to each other, but it is embedded in language is also culture. And every time I see him speak in English and also, but his brain is very Korean, like he's a Korean man. I see the way that he contemplates like the different nuances in culture whenever he's speaking to someone that is a native English speaker and that comes from the West, and then also trying to bridge that gap with his members, or like he's very aware of the Korean people that are also going to watch. I think it's so interesting that like I feel like I can sense that, because I also grew up in a multicultural like household, and any of you guys that are, you know, have immigrant parents, you guys would understand that as well, when you are trying to be that gap between, you know, the culture that you grew up with and the culture that your parents grew up in. And so it's just the point that I noticed it here is when, because idol is such like, you don't call musicians idols out in the West, but they are literally labeled as idols, like the K-pop stars are, at least in Korea. And so, and also their song is called Idol, clearly. And so the way that he was just like, you know, Pharrell, like, you're my idol, and then he smiles and he's like, idol, like it just I just love the way that he does that, because I relate to it
in front of my idol. But for me, it's really more comfy to, you know, mostly for me, I write somebody's lyrics or the melodies for other artists, not as many as you, but it feels like, you know, it gives me another avatars and characters.
Yes.
So when it comes to me, it's a complex, and it always
the world is complex.
Comes with the pain, you know, to confess. But it's still the most important part for me.
I can relate to that. I think the pain part for me is probably the fun part, because that's like some of the most vivid paint that we can use as artists, when we're like filling in what we want to be a powerful verse. It's like, okay, does it hurt enough? You know, or does it feel good enough?
Oh my God, that is so like, you know, we don't really think of it that way, because the pain, I don't think Pharrell is saying the pain itself is fun, but he's like, how do I portray this pain? And that's the fun part, because he's like, I want everyone to feel and relate to what I'm feeling, because it's real for me and I know it's real for other people.
You know, true. So I understand you there when you
say,
say,
Namjoon, smile.
You know, you inject the pain in your verses to make sure that it's like, you know, they're strong. I agree.
I was wondering the, you know, creative process, you know, how it's different for you yourself, like in my mind or girl, or, you know, between the, you know, songs you made for the others, like the singers or the rappers, or like clips, grounding, of course. I just wonder the difference, you know, from the scratch.
So when an artist walks in, they ask for something,
like a track or
know, they'll say, you know, I just want something hard, or I want something darker, or I want, you know, you know, something that's like for the club, like, you know,
banger.
You know what I'm saying? A banger.
Banger.
And so I'm considering what they're looking for, but I'm also thinking about like the texture of their voice, and the patterns and the melodies that they do usually. Then I think about how I can give them something very different than they've ever done before. And so when you mix all of that together, a lot of times, you know, an artist,
wow, as a producer, he wants to bring out something different as well, not just what they're asking for. He's like,
will say, man, that's a little different for me, or whatever. And then I'll go ahead and reference it, and, you know, sell it to someone else. And then like oftentimes that same person will come back to me and say, man, why didn't you play me that? And I was like, I did play you that, but they weren't hearing it in that way.
Wow, that's the fun part.
Yeah,
that's interesting, because as soon as it goes to someone else, then they're like, it's all, human nature is funny.
But then there are people who jump out the window and they go ahead and try it. Because my whole thing is just try it. We don't have to put it out.
Right.
But you know, people are so good at what they do. Sometimes they're afraid to explore different parts of their voice, different parts of their personality, and different parts of their career. So, you know, they're a little like hesitant. But for the ones that do try it, they get to experience something new. And look, if we decide at the end of the day it's just not right for them, it's not right for them.
Right.
But you got to hear a different side. That's my favorite part of.
This is one of my favorite parts about because I think I was more closed-minded at when I first started listening to like K-pop or whatever as well. I mean, not back in the day, but when I got back into it, I mean, BTS is the group that got me back into K-pop, and I think because they most closely resembled the kind of style that I personally liked. But then, you know, as BTS also like went into different genres and like did this and then did that, and you know, and the way that they have truly shaped the industry, I think also people that are their listeners, army or just casual listeners, they're like, oh, wait a minute, yeah, I can branch out because I am not just defined in this one thing that I like, let alone like being musicians and artists they are.
Writing and producing for other people.
Like a challenging.
Yeah.
Like, so here comes another thing.
Okay.
Well, here comes another thing. Kim Namjoon.
I started to listen to music. I mean, like the hip hop music in 2005. I started with the Nas and Eminem.
Okay.
Of course, the classics.
Yeah.
But you know, as I get to know you, when I first listened to your song, especially, I just want to point out "Take It Off," because that's my playlist, one of the playlists.
Whoa.
So
That's crazy.
when I listened to it, I even translated it into Korean, and I just
my
recorded
God.
once when I was I'm amateur.
Whoa.
So
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
so you know, when I listen to it, I just always been wanting to have the, you know, frequency.
I
you know, because-
love that he's like being so vulnerable and just talking about this too, like his like even as like his more embarrassing things, because he's recognizing what he used to do and where he came from.
You always cross over this. These days, genre doesn't mean anything. But I think at that time, I think was like, you know, some rappers really criticize the rappers who sing or use the autotunes. Right. But I don't know, you started your career as a producer, or so you're like very natural for that. But I always
oh my god, the way I love the way that he's really connecting with him and understanding him. Like the way that Namjoon realizes that with the changes what BTS has gone through, like it's and himself, not just BTS but himself as like a rapper, it just I love the way he's portraying
wanted to
this.
have the frequency like you know, it sometimes it's just singing, it could be falsetto, sometimes you rap, sometimes
God.
you just sang the hook
Yeah.
for the other artists,
Yeah.
like Snoop Dogg. And so how do you position yourself when you participate in the song as a player?
This is the question.
First of all, these are great questions.
Thank you.
And no one's ever asked me that.
Oh,
believe it or
really?
not.
Oh my god, I love Pharrell just sat up in his chair. Pharrell is a legend. And for Namjoon to really pique his interest as, you know, like his hube, you know, his counterpart in the industry. Not his counter, you know what I mean.
Like,
Wow. First of all, these are great questions.
thank you.
And no one's ever asked me that.
Oh,
Believe it or
really?
not. Like, no, I've never had a journalist ever ask me
That
that.
really matters to me. So.
That really matters to me. Because I think this is one of the things that Namjoon was also like slightly struggling with. Like losing yourself in this, losing yourself in in something that you love.
Or not.
I just love.
First of all, these are great questions.
Participate in the song as a player. Like,
Wow. First of all, these are great questions.
thank you.
And no one's ever
Oh,
asked me
thank
that.
you.
Oh,
Believe it or
really?
not. Like, no, I've never had a journalist ever ask me
That
that.
really matters to me.
And that's like no cap. Like, you, believe it or not, no one's, and it sounds like they could have, and because it's such an obvious question, but no one's ever asked me that. So
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
He's blown away by Namjoon's brain. Like we all are. We all are.
They
Every
claiming
time.
it because it's such an obvious question, but no one's ever asked me that. So
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
Yeah.
By that.
Aw.
Everything I make decisions based off of feeling.
Oh,
I don't make them based off of convention.
I gotta rap. I gotta sing.
Yeah,
I
no,
gotta
it's just whatever it feels like it needs, and I'm gonna channel it as best as I can because I'm trying to tell somebody else who's gonna be better than me to do it. And oftentimes, what will happen was artists will be like, "Nah, we want you to stay on there," and I'll be like, "No, but it's for this person." But I channel what I feel like is missing, and I forget that it's gonna be me because if I think that it's gonna be me, then it won't be as good and I won't be as confident. I'm only confident knowing that I am giving the instruction.
Because we are all, as humans, our worst critic. We are so self-criticizing.
And the directives to someone else. Like for example, there's a record that I did with
We want to take that
Mystical
pressure off of
a long
ourselves.
time ago called
Mystical.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, shake your ass, right? So when I did that record, I was thinking like, you know, writing wise, you know, Chad and I produced it together. But when I was writing that hook, I was pretending that like Eddie Kendricks,
I'm sorry, I'm listening, but like Namjoon's like, so cute.
you know, Chad and I produced it together. But when I was writing that hook, I was pretending that like Eddie Kendricks from the Temptations could do it. And I remember saying to them, "Oh man, you know, we're gonna get like, you know, we're gonna get you know, the guy from the Temptations to do it." And they were like,
Temptations.
"Nah, the record company wants you to stay on there." I was like, "Wait, what?" So it was like this weird
Wow,
thing
he wanted
where,
to
like,
listen to the
I
Temptations. I think
started to
that was in the
realize
article.
that was my sweet spot, is when I channel other people and I
Oh.
surrender to what the music needs and not let my ego or my feelings get involved. And then I actually make better decisions, whether it's gonna be me on the song at the end of the day or
the
not,
other artists.
or another artist. I filled in the blank and given them a different feeling. And oftentimes, sometimes I would be sharp, you know, when I'm
Yeah, of
singing on
course.
there, but it just felt good
Oh.
and we would just leave it.
So, I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but
I was like that's so beautiful, the way that it honestly reminds me of Yoongi whenever he says stuff like, you know, I know it's not perfect, but that's just how it's gonna be. I think he say that to Jungkook before, because Jungkook, like, he's such a perfectionist, but then Yoongi's like, just do it, just put it out, because if you don't, it's never gonna go out, you know. And that, I feel like that's Pharrell's same mentality. Like, great producers, they're just like, the way that they channel it. And I love that Namjoon is taking all of this in so much and so to heart, because even if he's thought, yeah, like, he could be like, oh yes, that is how I approach things, he's like, oh, because I feel like I'm doing something right, or I'm doing something that, like, you know, makes sense, you know.
We would just leave it.
so I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but we've met at
Oh, this is a
Billboard Music Awards
Yes, of
in
course.
2018.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
We took a
of
photo.
course
We took a
no,
photo.
Jordan,
wanted to
who
work
the
in.
hell are
And I didn't want to like, you know.
Oh, be that guy.
aggressive. So I was like, oh, you know, let's just take a
Okay.
photo.
You were nice.
But I really wanted to. I was like, yo, let's leave. I think we took a photo backstage.
he's like, I know what time it was, I know what I ate right before.
Yeah, backstage in your room actually.
Yeah, and then like I was working in a studio not too far off, and I really wanted to be like, yo, fuck all of this. No, you know what? Let me correct this, because I don't want your fan base to be mad at me using this kind of language.
No, they're
But
not.
man, I was like, man,
No, they're not like
using this
Why?
kind of language.
No, they're
But
not.
man, I was like, man, I wanted to be like, listen, let's leave here right now and go make some great music, because I just loved everything that you guys were doing. I love your energy, and you know, I love what it is that you represent. You know, at such a time when, you know, our Asian brothers and sisters and
oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
fellow Asian human beings that maybe don't identify necessarily binarily, in a binary way, you know, the Asian community has just been going through so much
These
you know,
days, yeah.
and you know,
Gradually, more and more.
Pharrell, the area where he's from, I'm like actually from there as well, and like you know, Neptunes and stuff, that there's a lot of Asian people where he grew up with Asian people as well, so like Pharrell knows, like, you know.
The Asian community has given me so much. And I really feel like y'all's energy, you're also showing like artists period, not just like not just in one specific genre, but I think you're just like also showing people that like, you don't have to be, you can be humble. You guys, your energy is there's a lot of humility that you all vibrate. I think that's a great
That is so true.
energy. What people don't realize is like when you have, you know, literally, you know, hundreds of millions of fans, and you encounter them, you know, 20 and 50 and 100,000 at a time.
Can't notice a single face, you know. It's just a
Man.
just a mess.
It must be insane.
MAS. That's not a
It's a mass.
It's a mess.
It's
MAS. That's not a
it's
Not
a
a
mass.
Sometimes.
MAS.
And it is a massive voice, and it is a massive, using that word mass, it is a massive energy coming at you. And you say jump.
And then they jump.
And they jump. And you sing, and they sing every word.
Right.
And you know that you can feel through their voices that so many of their lives have been affected and changed because of
so
something that
true.
you've done.
So
That's
true.
I don't
what
know how
only
you.
believe.
I don't know how you do that, because I've had a couple songs do that, and then when I get out there and go sing it, that would make me cry, because it was too much of a responsibility. Every time I get that close to that size and what I do as a musician, I always step back.
Oh, why? It's like, is it too heavy? Like,
It's too heavy, man.
too much?
It's too much of a responsibility. That's why I really
Yeah, the
revere people
pressure.
like yourself and, you know, your band members and other artists like B and J and like, man, what y'all go out there and go face every night on that stage.
It's a lot.
It is humbling and it's overwhelming, and sometimes your nervous system got to be built for that.
Of course.
Let me ask you this: how do you deal after you come off the stage, feeling electrified and shocked every night? How do you decompress, or do you decompress?
I love the way that Pharrell is also so into the conversation as well. You know, very few people have this type of experience and just feeling. And at the end of the day, I mean, trust me, if I saw BTS on this show, I would just go like, yeah. But like at the end of the day, they're human, you know.
Krista, do you
we
purge?
weren't
Like, how do
weren't
you do
built
that?
for this.
It's, you know, my first performing was in front of like 10 people in some small clubs when I was like 15.
Okay.
And I like forgot most of the lyrics. So at that time I just realized
I read this part in the
that,
article.
oh, I'm not a star type. I'm not a, like a front man and, could enjoy all this shit and just, it's like Kurt Cobain or Mick Jagger. I'm not that type of, I'm just a human just who loves writing music and just, the energy. So every night, like for example, we had these stadium shows in Las Vegas last April.
Yeah.
It was 4,
yeah.
but like every night is a challenge. It's like same set list. It's like maybe the same flow, sort of type, little different, but just like you said, that moment, like after we finished the first 3 beginning songs, and then we, take out the earphones, and then like we just like, we're fucking back. It's like that's like everybody shouting out. At that moment, that's when I really gets all the nerves, and like
screaming
you
it
know,
on
it's
stage.
there's a different me persona for the next 2.5 hours. But before that, from the rehearsal and even in the plane, I got really nervous and
In your head,
so
yeah.
responsible because I really
You can tell he
am
gets very
aware of the
anxious.
stories that fans buy the tickets and they come from Brazil, from Japan, Korea, like from everywhere. They just come there for just that one night. So it feels me like I have to pay back. I have to give them.
Oh my
I have to
God,
offer
this
them
part.
the best night ever in their lives. So it's a mess and it's a too much energy. But I'm a
Damn,
human.
so
and
much pressure.
I really get nervous, and I really sometimes get depressed by, and even get swallowed by all the energies. But I'm trying, and I try to deal with it, because I'm a human, and I love the music. I love their love, because I think.
I read this part in the article and I love their love. Like, even him talking is just so poetic. He just expresses himself so well. This is not even his native language. I just love the way his brain works. And is this love? Is this love? Sometimes I know like love, trivia love, I think that's such a special song. That era was when I fell in love with BTS. And oh my God, that song is so genius. It's just so genius.
The music, I love their love, because I think love is really happening when
Live
we
and
give
love.
somebody, not we receive. Yeah, we take.
Yeah.
So I think it's more closer to the real love, I guess, personally. So I just want to give them.
He said that moment in this relationship with Army is the closest thing to real love, like, that he's ever, like, oh my God, not because of him receiving that love or the energy. It's because he wants to give every single person who either bought a ticket or just listens to their music, he wants to give it back.
Back, they brought us from just a small city in Korea.
Oh my God.
I think
Oh, I'm
love
so sorry.
is really happening when we give. I think love music. I love their love, because
Oh.
I think love is really happening when we give somebody, not we receive. Yeah, we take.
Yeah.
So I think it's more closer to the real love, I guess, personally. So I just want to give them back. They brought us from just a small city in Korea all the way back to the heart of this music industry.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, LA, New York. Me having an interview with Pharrell, it could happen because of fans all over the world. I'm just always grateful, and I just don't want to disappoint them. How do you position yourself? Like, you're a producer, yeah, you may be a rapper, you may be a singer,
Yeah.
you may be a CEO,
Yeah.
father,
Yeah.
a husband.
Yeah.
Like, what's I'm for, of course, the name Pharrell explains everything, but except that, how will you define yourself? Like,
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a public servant first.
public servant.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. And when you serve the public, you're
Oh
doing.
my God.
That's what.
Something for public.
Yeah, and that's God's will. I'm a believer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I believe. The universe is real. For me, God is the universe. We're in the universe. And then again, being a public servant, being, a father, a husband, and then music is like everything for me, because music's the skeleton key that's opened up every door.
Still,
for me to,
still music. Is,
Yeah, it's like the center of everything, because
course.
without that, I wasn't able to do all the stuff that I'm able to do. And then I definitely have my struggles with having a lack of a sense of purpose, I think.
When? Like,
Right around 2005, when I put out In My Mind.
In My Mind.
I just felt like,
after
man,
that? Right after that?
as soon as it didn't do what I wanted it to do, I mean, culturally, it made an impression, but it didn't do it egotistically. It didn't perform the way I wanted it to.
Egotistically.
It just
wow, I
didn't
love
do
that.
What I was used to at that
I
time.
love that.
It really hit me hard.
Yeah.
So that made
I love
me
that he's
start to think about
expressing
like
that.
purpose and things having real, true DNA and not just aesthetic perversion, but like real, true, like meaning. And something that could be meaningful to people, but at the same time still fun. And you know, I've always loved a girl, so that was always going to be a part of it. But so I understand what that is. I know what it's like to hit that place in your career, and for whatever reason, and you guys are doing fine. But I think, you know, from what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding, you guys hit a place where you were like, you know, what are we doing? Who are we? Are we who we said we were?
Right.
Yeah,
And you know, as you think about who you are and you think about what you mean and what your intentions are, it's like also kind of.
I'm sorry. Namjoon, he always like, he's like, this is his like thing. It was so cute.
You think about what you mean and what your intentions are. It's like also kind of determining who you want to be. I mean,
That is so true. That this crossroads is not the only reason, but it could be the reason why they even are taking a hiatus from like a full group. You know, they're not going to be a full group until 2025, but the more and more, and obviously as ARMY we trust BTS, but everyone should be allowed to explore themselves individually, you know? We're not like, yes, like if you are a part of a group or a family, yes, that is your world, but you are also your own person. And I love that they are getting to explore more sides of them individually and as musicians. I think that's so beautiful. I think that,
I mean, how's that feel? Like, where are you in that process right now? Because you're working on a solo record, right?
Yes.
Oh, God.
10% of the work is done.
Okay.
I've released some mixtape as one of the member of the band, but I think it was just like experiments. I think this time it's maybe my official first solo album.
Okay.
when this drops, and I think Mono, that dropped when I first got into BTS as well. I think that was 2018. I was just floored by Mono, and so and then now, oh my god,
Feel enough.
Okay.
I don't know. It's gonna be like, I don't know. If I would feel like you after My Mind or not. But I think it'll happen after when I release it.
Yeah.
So I'm just dependent on the time. But it's been just like 10 years after we had our debut as a team. So K-pop is all about the band and the groups. And actually, I told you, I personally started my career as a rapper and as a poet.
Yeah.
So that was a tricky part actually, because the K-pop
navigating
is like
all
a
that.
mix.
Yeah.
It's like the mix of American pop music, all the visuals and the choreos and social medias and stuff. It's really intense and really hectic.
It's
so
a
it has
whole
some pros and
culture.
cons of its own. So after 10 years, I think it was not our intention, but we took it. But we actually became a sort of a social figure. So a K-pop band going to have a speech at the UN or meeting the presidents. It's like I think I was really confused.
Crazy.
What
Oh my
am I,
God.
like a diplomat or what? So
Yeah.
I was just a small rapper and lyricist when I was young, like from the scratch. So so it was 10 years really intense as a team, and I actually was
See
in
the
charge
paper on the
like
side.
almost all of the interviews and representing the team like in front of the other members. That was my that was my stuff, I guess, role.
Yeah.
So I think
God.
I got really
I'm the spokesperson for this group.
I don't know, like, yo, I gotta stop this for a bit.
Yeah.
I gotta shut it down and just fall from it away, and then just see what's going on. Making my mind really calm down.
Yeah.
And then I think so that's how I got to concentrate on my just solo. And these days I really have been thinking about the 15 when I first listened to you. The first feeling and the vibe and the reason why I started, why I chose music to for my whole life, I guess.
It's so crazy.
So,
He's in front of him now.
Yeah, when I started my music, I was like 14, and now I'm like 28. So it's like just the half. It's like it's like way shorter than you. So I'm in that process. So it's really tricky and confusing, and I just don't know what's going to happen.
I love.
If you could give me any advices, because you were in the band, and you are in the band, and you've done the band. It's different from the K-pop, but you've done a lot of projects, like of course NERD, Neptunes, and of course your solo.
Yeah.
So
Namjoon's like, I love how he expressed his struggles and then also asking for advice on how to navigate through his struggles. It's damn, like Namjoon has come so far from that guy I saw on Ellen introducing himself as the spokesperson. I'm honestly blown away.
like any thoughts about
Being in the Neptunes, being in NERD, and having a solo record really helped me, because you do one thing, then you take a break. You do another thing, then you take a break. You do another thing, then
switch
you take
modes?
a break. Yeah, and
Oh,
it
switch
allows
modes,
me to
yeah.
put on
Namjoon's
different
like, I
hats and
know
put on
how
different
that's
masks.
like.
So I understand that, and I know like having that departure is going to make it really fresh for you. I think it's good for you to do that, because then when you come back to it, to the group,
team.
yeah, I think it's going to be to the team. I think it's going to be super fresh. You're going to have a whole lot of ideas. I would just say continue to move forward, continue to be curious, and don't put any kind of necessary pressure on what it is that you do by saying, no absolutes, like, oh, I will never do music again.
Oh, yeah.
Or I will never, I wouldn't do any of that. I would just,
no nevers,
just stay along for the ride. Just keep going.
cruising?
Yeah, just see where you end up. It's really interesting.
Thank you.
No, thank
It
you.
was a bless.
Pleasure's mine.
Honestly, I feel so thankful that Pharrell and Namjoon were expressing all of this. I think so many times, as just fans in general of music, especially K-pop, we focus on like not necessarily the artistry, and just to see just like a tiny bit of what goes on, in their mind as a human that is elevated to this level. I think it was a blessing for us as fans to really get. So, oh my gosh, thank you Rolling Stone, thank you Pharrell, thank you Namjoon for coming together and just really speaking your mind, because that honestly was so good, and it was very needed at this time as well, I think. And if anything, it makes me love and trust BTS more. I don't know. It was just so beautiful. I don't know how many times I called it beautiful, but it was just so beautiful. And yeah, ARMY, I will see you very soon. Look out for my Sobfest from Jin performing in Argentina. It's like I said, it's on my Twitch right now. So if you want to go see that before this comes out. But anyway, I will see you soon, Ami, and yeah.